Hello, people of the internet. I am DesertWolf have here, and today we're taking on FM editor request made by the guy you can see right now on screen, Football Manager for the win, Go Animate FTL. So, he sent us this, which is basically replicating the continental rules of 2008. Now, I couldn't replicate to perfection what he said, as a few of these things would require to delve into the advanced rules, which is something I'm not yet prepared to do, as I'm not good enough, I'll be honest. Um, okay, so this is why certain numbers you'll see are different. The one major key difference is the fact that in what he asked was that the 11 winners of the UEFA Intertoto Cup, because there was a thing where the top 11 teams from the Intertoto Cup went into the UEFA Cup, and the one that went the furthest would win the Intertoto Cup. I know it's complicated, but that's how it worked back then. And this wasn't possible due to the fact that you have to go into the advanced rules to make intercontinental cup changes. So like it's also valid for like third team from the Champions League group going into the UEFA Cup round of 16th. Is the exact same problem. Actually, I say round of 16th, well, the round just before. Um, it is the exact same problem that due to these restrictions of the basic rules, I wasn't able to do as such. This is why certain numbers will be slightly different. Well, for the nations, it's kind of obvious. It's the European nations. Okay, you can leave that. Now, for the teams, if you want to copy the exact same qualification system I put for this, which is at the most, like for the most part, the same as the original one, but there are a few things that are slightly different because of these um, things that I mentioned a few minutes ago. Well, few seconds ago. So and I'll scroll through slowly. So if you want to take the time to copy it, you can pause the video. Okay, now that this is done, let's delve into the cups. So we have the three cups: Champions League, UEFA Cup, Intertoto Cup. I also took my time to rename them accordingly. So the Champions League has 76 teams. I think the original version was slightly more, not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But so the stages are the following: first qualifying, second qualifying, third qualifying round, then a group stage, followed by first, quarterfinal, and semi-final rounds. So I'll rapidly go through them. If you want to copy them, make sure to pause the video. Um, Oh yeah, I'll see if I can manage to put the database in the description to download. I'm not sure if I actually will be able to do that. But now let's continue. For the prize money, I there wasn't really any reference to that when I looked this up. So I kind of put a bit randomly, but this will be up to you to decide. So here we have the UEFA Cup. Oh yeah, number of teams starting the stage is basically teams because I've had a few people that got confused, and I wanted to point this out now. Number of teams starting at this stage is the teams that will only be starting as written in this stage. So it doesn't take in account the amount of the teams that qualified in the first qualifying round. So this is only the extra teams that will add up to the teams that qualified to from the first qualifying round. So here number of matches 37. Number of matches has to be the half of the number of teams if this is knockout round. So that also tells us the amount of teams that have qualified for the next round. So we have 37 teams, and because you want that there be 64 teams in total in this round, we have to add 27 to make 27 plus 37 equals 64. Number of matches 32, which is the half. That means 32 teams pass on to the first round, which is another 48 teams, as it will make a total of 80 teams with a match with 40 teams with only 20 teams going to a group stage. And normally it isn't 32 but 24 teams, so the top three of the groups of five, because it's groups of five that qualify for the next stage. But due to the problem that they cannot have the eight third place teams from the Champions League going into this tournament, I added also the fourth place teams. Then we have the usual third, fourth, quarterfinal, semi-final, and final round. Let's get into the Intertoto Cup, which I'll explain one thing right now. So if I get into stages, usually it would end the third qualifying round. I've added a final thing in the end to at least give it something, because usually how it works would be 28 teams with 14 passing to the next. Okay, so as you can see in the second qualifying round, there will be 14 teams starting at this stage, adding up to the 14 that passed from the previous stage, making 28 teams. Then from 28 will go down to 22 teams, as 8 teams add up to the 14 teams, and then 11 teams will pass. Now, usually these 11 teams, as I previously stated, would go into the UEFA Cup, but due to the fact that what do we call it? Due to the fact that this is impossible in the basic editor, we'll have to convert to the advanced rules editor, which is much more complicated. Actually, let me give you a sneak peek of this. It will take a bit to load. There we go. Let's. This looks fairly normal for now. So then there's this stuff. Yes, basically every page looks like this. Honestly, if you have a lot of free time, try and learn that by yourself. I'm not able to advise you on any of this. So getting back to the Intertoto Cup. So what I've decided to do to not leave it like this, I just simply decided to add one more stage to it, where one team gets added and it's like 12 teams in a league format, battling it out for first place. So yeah, I'm sorry that the Intertoto Cup couldn't be exactly replicated, but I did this at the best of my capabilities. I am not like I've never claimed and will never claim to be the best FM editor guy here. So yeah, okay, it's been your boy DesertWolf here. I hope you enjoyed this video, which was a request made by the guy that said in the beginning of the video. This will probably not be the last request, as I do usually happily take requests, but this is to note that I did my best. I cannot always replicate to perfection what you guys asked me, as there's some limitations in my capabilities. I am not by any means the best guy with the editor. But apart from that, been able to solve 2005. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Also, if you want to watch more of me, here is a playlist of other FM editor tutorials, and on the right, my latest video. Also, to subscribe, click on my channel logo. Goodbye.